picking right back up where I left off. I'm going to be focusing this time on, first of all, setting up the trains for the launch facility, and second of all, arranging the stations for the stations for the other miscellaneous stuff and the build for the satellite area, which we haven't done yet. So this guy is already set up. So we can blueprint him. We want to keep just the train. Oh, and I can't put this down on the diagonal. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have to place them on this vertical line and give them enough fuel so they can pull into the parking area. There. Give this guy just one fuel. So now the similar thing, we're going to do it for this station, which is low density structures. Unfortunately, I can't just change the station here, so I do need to actually just add in full cargo, inactivity, and then LDS for science, empty cargo, inactivity. I was going to do this off camera, wasn't I? Yeah, let's do the trains off camera, since we know how that's going to work now. The next thing we need is the build for the satellites. Well, that's easy. We start off with a satellite. None of these need to be moduled or anything. Satellite inputs are all of those things, but we will be taking a direct insert of the radar. Radar needs all of that, but we will be taking a direct insert of the gear wheel. Oops, wrong thing. There. And I didn't put my inserters down here. Like that. So the other thing I was doing was I was doing the insertion of the raw materials into this chain using robot logistics. So if I'm going to be putting those other stations down here, yeah, I think I had it right. I can keep it sort of compact by nestling it up in like this. He's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 requester chests. 2 of them are going to be satisfied from these guys. So let's flip this up. Yeah. I can mess around this all day. It's going to be the same thing no matter what I do. But it does need to be inside power. Let's keep it here. So blue chest, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a red chest for output. So he's got processors, he's got LDSs, he's got fuel, he's got the solar panels, and the accumulators are the hard part of the build. This guy needs 2 inputs, iron plate, electronic circuit. And this guy needs iron plate. So I don't think we actually need to put any beacons or modules in any of those. So he's going to only do one at a time. And all of these are going to have the same circuit condition. Logistic network, connect. So we are only going to be building a satellite if there are no satellites in the, well, if there's, well, how many satellites do we want in the red box at a time? If I've got one in there, I can deliver it to somebody and have a rocket go up, and it will be pulled early. So the only time I would need 2 would be if both of them got consumed. But then I've got a minute, so yeah, these only need to be if the number of satellites is less than 1. And we're going to freeze that entire chain if we've got any satellites there. And let's go back to here and put him back to override stack size to 1. If I end up with multiple satellites here, I only want to pull 1 out because that will limit my damage if we do overbuilding. Requesting 1 satellite there and 1 satellite there. We provide 1 satellite here, and we've got inputs. So that's all set up. So now we just need to have something within the roboport range that drops all that stuff into the. Let's get rid of the no paths here. Manual. There we go. Okay, so now we need a station that has enough throughput to handle this, and I only need 1 rail car for that. So I can take from the top, or I can take from the bottom, or I can take from the side. So normally we come in, we're right-hand drive, so we'll come across this way and out that way. So I think I could just stack up my stations. Well, I do want them to be outputting somewhere close by, so what if I have all the trains come in here and make a final turn into the... Not like that. There's going to be 6 stations total. Let's rough one out. So we're here. This is just outside of roboport range. So I'm going to need a second roboport no matter what I do here. Darn it. I was hoping to be able to get by with just 1. Well, or I move the whole roboport down. It has to cover up to here. So how far down can this move? It could be in here somewhere, depending on how the parking goes. You have to come down to the left far enough to include that, and up here like that. Blast. What if I put 3 on either side? Yeah, that's acceptable. Okay, and my unload is unloading into a box. Let's just do it with a, yeah. So if I am doing 1 per minute here, my total, I think I can look at this in the planner. See settings. I do it in terms of inserters? No, but I can do it in items per second. So this is going to need almost 10 steel per second, 25 green chips per second. So 25 green chips per second is more than 1 green inserter. So we're going to unload with 2 greens. I'm just going to make them all the same. Now I could make these filter inserters if I had some on me, and very carefully set them up to do the right thing. Oh, how about that? And we still have our nice, consistent thing there. Now, why does it put it on both sides? There we go. And how I hook up the inputs here is going to really depend on what else is happening, but I do want to have a parking area out here. Oh, did I remember to have a chain inserter on the output of these? Yes, I did. Good. So that's the parking area. I'm going to need enough parking for 6 of those. 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll need the inputs flowing into the parking area and the outputs flowing out from there. So we're kind of out on the end here. I'm thinking that I can take this. We go 1, 2, 3. No. Okay. So there's my right-hand drive. We have input. We're kind of at the end of things here, so we take the input from the line and we bring it in. We've got parking, we've got our stations, and we send back out. And at this point, I could use FARL to continue that line outward. In fact, if we grab the FARL vertical, you can see this kind of just fits right in here. Am I out of light bulbs? I didn't request any light bulbs in, did I? There we go. So we'll have lamps next time we come out. Which reminds me, this is a rocket launching complex. It really needs lamps. Oh, now all of these are going to be the same kind of thing. 2-train limit, and they will be some resource for science. So they actually look a lot like these stations. And actually, I'm going to make it a little bit more than that. I'm going to make it something for satellites. So we're going to make it clear that we're using these for satellite production. These are all train limit 2. And we haven't yet figured out who is going to do what. So that's next. Let's start with, how about electronic circuits? Electronic circuits are going to be coming in here. Let's put it here. We'll get better colors on these eventually. I'm not exactly sure what the official color green is, but we'll get it figured out. Now for electronic circuits, we need 1600 per minute. So if we want to have a minute's worth in here, this is 1600, and these are 200 each, so we'll just put in one row. Boom. So that will satisfy our green chips. Then we got steel and copper and iron. I'm going to bring those in over here. Oh, almost forgot. You have to set the name. Green chips. This is steel. I think instead of coloring these manually, I'm going to let the automatic train coloring thing do it. Now steel, I need 500 per minute. You know what? I think think I'm just going to standardize on that same amount of stuff. It means that we may buffer some extra goodies here. So there's steel, and it's going to be iron. And this will be copper. We've got green chips. We've got processing units. And I'm going to color this one blue just because I like the idea of knowing which one blue is. And this is batteries. So, train stations. Here's my list of train stations. Because I've got product for what I'm building it. This way I can scan down, I can find the source of a product and its destinations, all lumped together. And we have no random named ones. I will start changing these bases to be more useful at some point. More usefully named. Okay, so in order to set schedules for trains, like I said, setting schedules for trains is boring. So how many trains do I have left to build? We have 6, 12, 13, 14, 15 trains left to build. We're going to have to go back and get some more. 15 trains by 4 cars each. Well, how many cars do we have? 3 of them have 4 cars each. That's 12 plus 12 more is 24, so we need 25. We've got enough cargo wagons. So I'm going to pause and go get stuff to make the trains. Okay, we're sometime later here, and I have finished setting up the trains. Here's the typical schedule. We will go to the source of the material and wait for full cargo inventory and inactivity, and then come back to where we're dropping it and empty cargo inventory and activity. So the train is really owned by this second station. But that does mean that when we look at the listing, it will be showing material to destination like that. And I'm not sure why we have the 2. Oh, right. The 2 says we have 2 trains set up to do these things. Which makes sense. I'm generally setting up 2 supply trains. But we only have 1 train for each of the sciences, including white. I believe that the science is going to be close enough in and slow enough that 1 train with 1 cargo wagon will be able to deliver the next load before we've exhausted the buffering in the science area. And we're up to 45 stations. Wow. Of course, part of that is that in order to set up the schedules here, I needed to set up dummy stations for source. So for instance, I have a station here not accessible from anywhere, but it claims to be producing steel. So I can use that to do it. This also serves to document what I am fetching. Well, that's also documented here, but it does make it so that I can copy paste things around. These will go away as our factory goes. In fact, let's keep these as a standard for things that we want that we don't have yet. So I'll be able to use those as flags when I'm doing benchmarking Why am I doing this? The other thing is that the PAX train is now set up with several stops. So I can go to the mall, I can go to the launch site, or I can go to the research center. So, small change here. I put the PAX station in. And you see I also set up my trains here. This is white science, so let's change the color of the station appropriately. There. And you see that the white science, we do have a train with a stop down here, and I could bring it up. There it is. And it comes, and it starts unloading, and it sees 5 seconds of no activity, and goes back to pick up some. The other change from the layout I had before was that this station is now a fuel station. Let's actually set this up as a, say, let's see, can I set this up with a, what I really want is, there, nice orange, a different color. These will get colored eventually. When I've got trains moving around, I will copy the colors from the locomotives as set by the train painter. But we can see here red, green, military, blue, purple, yellow science, space science, and fuel. And as long as I am bringing fuel in here, I will be fueling my PAX car elsewhere. Oh, he is just outside there. Let's put him in there and give him some power. There. And back to the launch facility. I think the next thing I want to show is a throughput benchmark of this base. So I have 2 trains for each thing I want in. I'm using 4 cargo wagons on the high throughput ones and 1 on the low throughput ones. And we have there's our rails leading out to our low level supply. We're going to lead these out to the right, out beyond. These guys we're going to lead to the right, but not as far. So the idea is we'll have science, and then we'll have high-end things that aren't science, and then we'll start, off to the right, we'll start bringing in the actual resources. So if we want to do it like this, this means that really these guys I want to leave some room here in case I want more parking. Let's set up a second rail here. Snap to grid. Grid size is 30 by 30. Relative. And I'm going to spin it around so that if I were to bring my farl down, farl going left to right would set these up this way. In fact, I probably should just use farl to set this up. Yep. dots. Okay, so here's going to be the rails for the rocket components. And I'm going to be bringing them up from below here. This is inbound. Aha. So right-hand drive will come in here. And I should probably arrange for I'm going to set this up to be a farl as well. So that way is right to left, that way is left to right, top to bottom here, or bottom to top. So from here, so if I do have farl swap off what direction it's going, it's not too bad, it just changes vertically where this lens ends up. I do not like that does weird stuff. There. Okay. And red. And green. And connect it back up to the main line. So while I'm keeping distinct rail networks, well, somewhat distinct rail networks, I will be unifying the signals here. So at some point I can bring my farl down here and send this guy off to the right to go pick up my materials. The next thing is I want to do the same thing for the other guy. So he will also come in from bottom to top. So over here-ish, maybe a bit to the right of here-ish. So, oh, but I need to figure out where this is down one further. Control V, come on, Control V. There it is. So if he's here and here, and that's where I want him. Okay, and let's go ahead and just copy paste that whole thing. Can I make that turn? Yeah, I'm not going to add a whole lot of parking there. And that's actually slightly off. So if I do this, that's the problem with laying those power out by hand, is that these are actually horizontally in not the right place. I can't tell if that's horizontal or not. I think that's right. Yep. Okay, so now to make the curve. Sometimes the buttons are a little bit weird. Okay, so high-end rocket assemblies and raw materials for the satellite. That's going to include batteries, so it's not really raw materials, but close enough. map this down. Now, I am not sure if we can make that curve or not. Ooh, just barely. Oh, there we go. So now it's just a matter of going into creative mode and benchmarking the heck out of this thing. I will limit my creative mod injections into off to the right here, the things I need here, the things I need here, and the other kinds of science which I will put onto this bus. So save as 5.5, and I'm going to do another save as 5.5 creative so I don't mess up. Be back. Okay, creative mode. I'm going to be skipping around, pausing this recording a lot, because getting the train stations and such set up are just fiddly dog work. Come on, Factorio, you can do it. Yes. Okay. So what we need is some 4 trains up here, bringing in the big stuff, and a whole bunch of small trains bringing in the little stuff. And up here we need trains bringing in the science stuff. The science trains are 1-1, like that, and they're already set, so I just need to provide them with sources. These guys are going to be 1-4s, and these guys are also going to be 1-1s. Just double check that. Yep. And we already have all the trains, we just need to set up the sources. So I will be back in a moment with that. Okay, I laid it out, and I got the benchmarking stuff in, and realized after I had done so that while I now have adequate quantities of everything coming in, I did not build my solar panels or my accumulators. So I need to go back to the uncreative save and update that, and then bring all this crap in back on the creative save. And yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of the creative mode stuff and put it in a blueprint so I can reapply it. And that will be all of this stuff here. So this is going to be launch pad benchmarking. And I'm going to put that down here in the lower right. So checklist for the non-creative normal build is going to be solar panels and accumulators, and then as a final step, I needed to put the logistic robots in. We'll get that going next. And pause. Okay, I am back in the normal save. I'm going to do these builds offline, and we will be back with it built, and I will be back in creative mode to run the actual benchmarking. And that will be the next video. So it's time to take a break.